Okay, guys, welcome back to social science class. And this class is basically a lesson for history. And already we know that we started discussion on the second chapter, nationalism in India, in which we discussed about the national movement in two phases. Okay, the first one it is the non-cooperation movement. We completed the discussion of the non-cooperation movement and how different groups of people participated in the non-cooperation movement. Okay, such kind of things we already discussed. Different groups of people in the sense of how the movement started in the towns and how the movement gradually slowed down in the towns. Okay, clear. And how the people in the countryside participated. I mean, the villages participated in the non-cooperation movement. Okay, the plantation workers, the tribal people, how these different groups of people participate in the non-cooperation movement. We discussed, and what is the importance of non-cooperation movement, or what was the importance of a non-cooperation movement, and the reasons that led to call of the non-cooperation movement by Mahatma Gandhi in the year 1922, the Chauri Chawra incident, right? The Chauri Chawra incident, and Gandhi commented that the Satyagrahis want to get some more training. Okay, absence of training is the people, those who participated in the non-cooperation movement, they don't know the meaning of non-violence. They don't know the meaning of the term non-violence. Okay, finally we know that we studied that almost all the movement that led by the plantation workers, that led by the peasants, that were led by the, what I can say, the tribal people, all these kind of things turned into a violent one. Finally, the Chauri Chawra event, Chauri Chawra incident, also not event but a incident. Okay, such kind of things we discussed, and now we are going to discuss about the second phase, or the second movement that organized by Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, it's a nationwide agitation. Okay, almost all the different groups of people participated in this movement, also basically termed as the civil disobedience movement. Civil disobedience movement. Okay, what is mean by civil disobedience? Not accepting the rules and regulation that made by the Britishers. Is that clear or not? If these ideas are clear for you people, tell me. You're at the
Yes,
textbook, right?
sir.
You're at the okay, everyone. So number of points that we discussed here, I already told you people to underline those things in your textbook also. So don't skip from that activity. Clear? Clear. Textbook reading is a compulsory one for you people. It is important to read. Anyway, after this discussion, we will discuss the chapter by using your textbook also. Okay, clear? So I think that this slide is completed. You wrote all these things there, right? Okay, right? The new party that formed by C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru, that is the Swaraj Party. Completed that? Wrote or not? Please check in your notes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, of course. Okay, go into the next slide here. You can see, okay, the two factors that shaped the Indian politics in the 1920s. 1, 2, we completed that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These 7 points also completed, right? Please check in your notes if they're complete or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So we know that Mahatma Gandhi, those who basically organized these programs against the Britishers. Okay. So civil disobedience movement is basically connected with a famous event termed as the Salt March. What is that? Salt March. Okay, you might observe this picture in the old 500 rupees notes, the old 500 rupees notes that banned before 4 years. Okay, ever observe that? A picture will be there. That is the picture of the Salt to March, the famous Salt to March. Okay, so here Salt Gandhi used as a medium to show his protest against the Britishers. Okay, basically, you know that salt, the price of salt is very less, or very low price is there for that product, right? Okay, but at that time, the Britishers used to sell and produce, I mean, produce and sell the salt. It is monopolized by the Britishers. They give no right to anybody to produce and sell salt in the market. Okay, so that the salt production and the selling of salt is monopolized by the Britishers, monopolized by the Britishers. So they are able to fix the price. And even the British people, they taxed heavily for the product called tax there. So common people suffered a lot. So Gandhi used this item. Okay, can anybody tell me that why Gandhi used salt as a medium of protest? Why salt?
Because it is essential.
Okay, because it is essential. Very good. Then it is used by both the rich and poor people alike, right? Right? Yes or no? There is no distinction, right? Everyone want to use this salt there, right? So it is so important. So important item in a food preparation, right? So Gandhi chose the salt to show his protest and to show that the Britishers are looting the money of Indians there. Okay, their policies and programs are not that much beneficial for Indians. Okay, so you can see uh, here it is, the salt march, salt march. Please check that in your textbook also. You can see. Can you see the board now? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Nonsense. Want to increase the size of the screen?
Sir.
This size. Okay, here on 31st January 1930, Gandhi sent a letter to Viceroy Irwin. Okay, I only told you that who is a Viceroy, right? The British administrative officer in India. Okay, the topmost officer in India, that's what the Viceroy, Lord Irwin. He's stating, Irwin, stating 11 demands, 11 demands, some of them of general interest and some of specific. The most string of all was the demand to abolish the salt tax. Okay, so Gandhi wrote a letter to Viceroy Irwin, the administrative officer. All right, okay, the ruler under the British control in India, that is Lord Irwin, and he is capable to take a decision related with the administration in India. So Mahatma Gandhi wrote a letter to Lord Irwin. What is that? Stating how many demands? 11 demands. 11 demands. Okay, not down 11 demands. Okay, so out of these 11 demands, some of the demands are of general interest. Okay, for the general, I mean for the publics. Okay, everyone has some interest on that kind of demands. Okay, the demand that everyone need. Okay, basically the things that everyone need. Some demands are like that, and some are specifically due to some particular activity or particular things. Okay, the most important of that, it is the abolition of salt tax. Okay, that 11 demand, one demand is nothing but the British government want to reduce or avoid. Here they use the term abolish. That means avoid a salt tax or tax on salt. Okay, clear? His letter stated that if the demands weren't fulfilled by 11th March, the Congress would launch a civil disobedience movement, but Irwin didn't negotiate. Okay, and the letter Gandhiji stated 11 demand, and the same time he mentioned a particular day. What is that? Okay, he demanded that if this demanded weren't fulfilled by 11th of March, okay, what the Congress will do there? Congress will start a civil disobedience movement against the Britishers. Okay, so Gandhiji already mentioned that in that letter. What is that? Okay, he wrote that letter in 31st January. Okay, and to give the last date as the 11th of March, the same year, 1930. Okay, 1930. Okay, and he stated that if the Lord Irwin or the British government is not reducing or not abolishing the salt tax, okay, what will happen? The Congress will start a civil disobedience movement. Okay, violation of rules and regulations that made by the government, British government. But Irwin didn't negotiate. Okay, Irwin didn't give any reply for the letter that was sent by Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, no reply. Okay, no negotiation, no bargaining, no discussion on that, no reply also. So Mahatma Gandhi started his famous salt march accompanied by 78 of his trusted volunteers. So what happened? Gandhi waited up to 11th of March, and the next day, Gandhi started the famous Salt to March, accompanied by, along with his 78 of trusted volunteers. Clear? So, two map pointing things are there here, places are there here. One is Sabarmati, not down, write down. Sabarmati, Sabarmati, that is the ashram of Gandhi. Next one, Dhandi, a coastal town in Gujarat. Sabarmati and Dhandi are the two places for map pointing from this particular area. Okay, Sabarmati and Dhandi. Sabarmati and Dhandi. Okay, so Mahatma Gandhi started his famous Salt March, accompanied by 72 of his trusted volunteers. The march was over 240 miles from Gandhi's ashram in Sabarmati. Okay, underline that. The Gujarat coastal town of Dandi. Okay, so Gandhi's ashram from Sabarmati to the coastal town of Dandi. The volunteers walked for 24 days, about 10 miles a day. Okay, so write a question. Write a question here. Write a short note on the famous Salt March. Write a short note on the famous Salt March. Famous Salt March. Salt March. So I want to include all these things there. I will give 2 minutes for you people to write down. Make it fast. So one more time. If it is not completed, please do that. Please finish it. So Mahatma Gandhi started his famous Salt March, accompanied by 72 of his trusted volunteers. Okay, the march was over 240 miles. The distance covered by Gandhi and his volunteers. Okay, from Sabarmati to the coastal town of Dandi, it is 240 miles. Okay, so 1 mile means we know that it's nearly 1.6 kilometers. 1.6 kilometers. Okay, so was Gandhi's ashram to the coastal town of Dandi. The volunteers walked for 24 days and about 10 miles a day. 10 miles a day. Okay, next one. Going to the next slide. Salt was something that was consumed by the rich and poor alike. Continuous points. As it was the most essential item of food. Okay, so we know that salt, it is commonly, I mean, mostly, not only the rich people, okay, everyone will use it, right or not? Okay, everyone will use it. It's a most important or essential item of food. The tax on salt and the government monopoly, monopoly means the power to produce and sell. Okay, only the British government has the power to produce and sell salt, it seems. Over its production, Mahatma Gandhi declared, revealed the most oppressive phase of British rule. Okay, so the monopolistic activity of the Britishers, and they levied or imposed a tax on the salt. Okay, so Gandhi used this system or this what you can say, this opportunity to prove that the oppressive rule of the Britishers, okay, or the bad rule of the Britishers, basically the policies that made with the Britishers for their development only. So Gandhi used this opportunity to show the bad activity of the Britishers to the common people. So this movement attracted people in large numbers. So this movement is against the Britishers and against their bad policies. So almost all the different groups of people, they participated in the Salt March. Okay, clear or not? And they accepted the Gandhi's idea of civil disobedience. Civil disobedience. And here you can see the third, fourth point says here in this slide, fourth point, thousands came to hear Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, wherever he stopped. Okay, on the way to Dandi from Sabarmati, in different points, Gandhi stopped and delivered speeches. Delivered number of speeches, and the people came to that spots or that particular places to listen Mahatma Gandhi. Listen Mahatma Gandhi. So thousands came to hear Mahatma Gandhi whenever he stopped, and he told them what he meant by Swaraj and urged them to peacefully defy the British. Okay, in all those points, Gandhi discussed with the people about the importance of non-violence, and basically he give the correct meaning for the term Swaraj. We know that at the time of the non-cooperation movement, different people give different meaning for the term Swaraj. Okay, but now Gandhi used this opportunity to teach the idea of Swaraj, the meaning of Swaraj to the common people, and the importance of peacefully defend the Britishers. Okay, peacefully defend the Britishers. Okay, without using any violent way, how to defend the Britishers peacefully or using non-violence. Okay, on 6th April, he reached On 6th April, sorry, on 6th April, he reached Dundee and ceremonially violated the law manufacturing salt by boiling seawater. And on 6th April in the same year, 1930, okay, he reached Dundee, the coastal town in Gujarat, okay, and ceremonially with the numerous people, his volunteers, and a number of other party leaders, other party in the sense of other political party leaders also, okay, and ceremonially violated the law manufacturing salt by boiling seawater. Okay, so 6th April, Dundee, Gandhi ceremonially violated the law. I mean the salt law, manufacturing salt by boiling the seawater. Okay, come on. Very clear? Okay, so this is about the Salt to March. Okay, next one, the Dandi March or the Salt to March that marked the beginning of a civil disobedience movement in India. So Dhandi March is the first event that marked the beginning of civil disobedience. Okay, hmm? Breaking the rules that made by the British. Okay, so civil disobedience was, okay, here the civil disobedience was different from non-cooperation movement in the sense that it not only asked people to refuse cooperation with the British, okay, as in non-cooperation movement, but also asked them to break the rule. Okay, write down what are the difference between the non-cooperation movement and civil disobedience movements. What is a common difference between civil disobedience and non-cooperation? Write down. Okay, at the time of
Right.
simply write that. What are the difference between, or what are the differences between civil disobedience movement and non-cooperation movements? Non-cooperation movement. So at the time of the non-cooperation movement, Gandhiji's comment, it is nothing but the Britishers are unable to rule our country without the support of Indians. Clear or not? Okay, clear. So at the time of non-cooperation, the Indians started not cooperating with the Britishers. But the time of civil disobedience, not only not cooperating with the Britishers, but the Indians started break the rules. Okay, they started breaking the rules that made by the Britishers. That is the difference. Okay, non-cooperation means just not cooperating with the Britishers, but civil disobedience. Two programs are there. One is not cooperating with them. The other is sorry that breaking the laws made by the Britishers. As the movement spread, foreign cloth was boycotted. We already studied that at the time of non-cooperation, right? Foreign clothes are burned. Okay, clear or not? So here, foreign clothes was boycotted and liquor shops were picketed. Okay, these two activities already we studied at the time of non-cooperation. So what do you mean by the term picketing? What is picketing? What is picketing? How do you mean? What is picketing? No answer. Emil Jacob,
Right.
Yes, sir.
tell me what is picketing?
Stealing.
Hello?
Our strike.
What type of strike is that? Okay, accepted it's a type of strike, and what type of strike is that? What method the people used to
Violence.
picketing? Violence? No. You already marked this particular word in your textbook. There's a box. Okay. So I got an answer from Vishnu Priya. I'm not reading that. The correct answer. Okay. So Vishnu Priya, please tell me the answer.
Blocking the entrance.
Blocking the entrance of the shops, factories, clear or not, or offices, shops, factories, or offices. That is what picketing. So strike only, clear or not allowing anybody to enter or moving out or exit from that particular shop, factory. Okay, clear or not, or an industry. Clear. So that activity is termed as picketing. So what the Indians used to protest against the British? First of all, they started boycotting the foreign clothes. Okay, what do you mean with the term boycott? Boycott. That also you mark. Tell me what is boycott. Boycotting. Prajot Krishna, tell me what is boycotting. Prajot. Nonsense. Prajot. What is boycotting? Nonsense. Anyone? Anyone can. Anybody.
Refusal of things which is given by British.
Correct. Refusal, okay, of using something. Okay, basically not willing to or not showing our willingness to use something. Okay, that's what a boycotting. Okay, rejecting or refusing something. Okay, first of all, understand that meanings. Okay, so here also, at the time of civil disobedience also, the leaders and the followers of the Congress party, they use the same technique. What is that? Foreign clothes was boycotted. Liquor shops were picketed. Liquor shops were picketed, wine shops. Okay. Peasants refused to pay revenue and the chowkidari taxes. Okay. So peasants, they refused to pay the revenue. Okay, so first of all, at the time of non-cooperative movement, we studied that peasants were faced with a number of problems from the landlords and taluksdar. Okay, but their movement turned into a violent movement. Here also what happened? The peasants, they stopped paying the revenue to the landlords and taluksdar, and they not paid the chowkidari tax, protection taxes, police taxes. Village officials resigned. Okay, the officers in village, okay, or village administrative division, okay, they resigned. And in many places, forest people violated forest laws. Okay, already we know that the British made the laws, okay, to ban or bar the tribal people to enter the forest. So the forest people break that laws and enter into the forest, going into the reserved forest to collect wood and graze cattle. So the forest people, they started going to the reserved forest for collecting the wood and graze their cattle. Worried about the developments, the colonial government began arresting the Congress leaders one by one. So by observing all these activities, okay, the government that become worried, the British government or British people, they become worried, and they started arresting the Congress leaders one by one, one by one. Okay, clear? Clear? Okay,
Yes, sir.
now write down how the civil disobedience movement started in India. How the civil disobedience movement started in India. Starting from here, the Dhandi March marked the beginning. Okay, come on fast, write down. Not completed. We're going to the next slide here. So you can see. Okay, so next two points are here. Clear. So the British government, they started using different ways or different methods to clamp down or stop the movement that led by the Indian National Congress. Okay, this led to violent clashes in many places. When Abdul Kafur Khan, okay, Abdul Kafur Khan, okay, so write down or note down this name, Khan Abdul Kafur Khan, a devout disciple of Mahatma Gandhi, okay, strong disciple of Mahatma Gandhi, was arrested in April 1930. Okay, the angry crowds demonstrated in the streets of Peshawar, facing armed cars and police firing. Many were killed. So what happened here? The British government, they started arresting Congress leaders one by one. Okay, as a result of that, a Congress leader, his name is Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, was arrested in Peshawar. Okay, so the people, they turned violently against the British police. So they faced armored cars and police firing. So armored cars, sophisticated weapons like a tank, okay, a military tank of today. Okay, so they used the armored cars with guns and they started firing against the people there. So this led to violent clashes in many places when Abdul Kafur Khan, a disciple of Mahatma Gandhi, strong disciple of Mahatma Gandhi, a follower of Mahatma Gandhi, was arrested in April 1930, month of April 1930. Angry crowds demonstrated in the streets. Okay, so people came to the streets and they started destructing the things that made by the Britishers or managed by the Britishers. Okay, in Peshawar, and what happened there? Just the Britishers used armored cars and police. When the police fired against the people, many were killed in that incident. Okay, so another one. A month later, when Mahatma Gandhi himself, Savio,
Time 3 o'clock.
okay, to what time your class? Tell me. So, okay, everyone. Today we discussed about the civil disobedience movement. Okay, first of all, how the SALT march and how the civil disobedience movement started in India and how the different people participated in the civil disobedience movement. Okay, so please read and understand these things that we will meet in the next class. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.